In the heart of the city, a unique blend of sounds filled the air. The clattering of tools in a mechanic's garage resonated with the vibrant thumps of music from street performers. Among these contrasting worlds, Kelvin worked tirelessly as a mechanic. His days were spent under the hoods of classic cars, where he found solace in the raw and dynamic sounds of engines. The grease on his hands told stories of dedication and hard work. Meanwhile, Christy thrived as a street artist, transforming drab urban spaces into colorful murals. She painted her dreams on the city walls, creating stunning visuals that challenged the status quo. One day, while working in his garage, Kelvin stumbled upon a striking mural of a car that caught his eye. Intrigued by the artwork, he decided to find the artist responsible for such creativity. Little did he know, this search would lead to a significant turning point in his life. The first meeting between Kelvin and Christy was electric, charged with energy and unspoken possibilities. When Kelvin spotted Christy on a nearby rooftop, her wild hair catching the sunset, he couldn't help but feel captivated. Their playful banter, filled with teasing and laughter, marked the beginning of a unique connection. Christy's sharp wit matched Kelvin's sense of humor, and soon their conversations evolved from casual to deeply personal. They shared their struggles, revealing vulnerabilities that few others saw. Kelvin spoke of the pressure he felt to uphold his family's legacy in the mechanic shop, while Christy shared her fight against societal norms that often dismissed her work. The two became a refuge for each other, a safe space where they could be themselves without judgment. Their unconventional careers bonded them in ways that felt both refreshing and exhilarating, but outside influences began to raise questions about the true nature of their growing friendship. As Kelvin and Christy spent more time together, the chemistry between them grew stronger, creating a palpable tension that hung in the air. Their playful interactions were tinged with something deeper, an undercurrent that neither wanted to acknowledge. One rainy afternoon, they found themselves working side by side in the garage, their hands moving in sync as they repaired an old Mustang. Kelvin couldn't shake off the feeling that something was changing between them. When their fingers brushed while reaching for tools, a spark ignited. Gathering his courage, Kelvin decided to voice his concerns. He asked Christy if she ever thought about what their relationship meant, but her startled expression revealed the complexity of their emotions. She brushed it off initially, claiming she didn't care what others thought. Yet, her reaction indicated that they both felt the weight of unacknowledged feelings. The tension between them grew, as both hesitated to take the next step, fearing the change it would bring. The following days felt heavy with silence, filled with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Christy immersed herself in her art, pouring her heart into a new mural that echoed her inner turmoil. Each stroke of the spray can became a release, a way to express the confusion and frustration brewing inside her. Meanwhile, Kelvin buried himself in work at the garage, but the thought of Christy lingered in his mind. He realized he missed their easy laughter and shared moments, feeling a void where their friendship used to thrive. When Christy finally unveiled her mural, it took Kelvin's breath away. The vivid colors and powerful imagery reflected not only her artistic talent, but also the raw emotions they had both been grappling with. Standing before it, he knew he could no longer remain silent about his feelings. He needed to confront the emotional distance that had crept between them and lay his heart on the line. One evening, Kelvin took a deep breath and headed to the gallery where Christy was working. He found her passionately putting the finishing touches on her latest piece, surrounded by onlookers who admired her talent. The sight filled him with admiration, but it also made him realize how much he valued her presence in his life. Gathering his courage, he approached her, his heart racing. He confessed how he felt, voicing the fears that had haunted him since their first meeting. To his surprise, Christy responded with a mixture of relief and vulnerability. She admitted that she had been wrestling with similar feelings, uncertain of how to express them. Their conversation unfolded with honesty, allowing them to lay bare their hearts. As they stood in the warm glow of the gallery lights, a new understanding blossomed between them. They realized that the bond they shared was more profound than friendship. It was a connection woven with dreams, hopes, and an undeniable spark. As their relationship blossomed, Kelvin and Christy found themselves navigating the complexities of love intertwined with their creative pursuits. They became each other's biggest supporters, encouraging one another to take bold steps in their respective careers. Christy's confidence soared as she prepared for a gallery opening, while Kelvin worked tirelessly in the garage, transforming cars into masterpieces. But the closer they became, the more outside voices questioned their relationship. Friends speculated about the nature of their bond, whispering that it could not possibly remain platonic. Kelvin brushed off the rumors, but a sense of unease settled in. Meanwhile, Christy continued to pour herself into her art, yet she couldn't escape the lingering doubt that perhaps their friendship was evolving into something more. The fear of what that might mean loomed large over them, complicating their feelings and blurring the lines of their connection. One rainy evening, the tension reached a boiling point when Christy received a phone call from a gallery offering to showcase her work. Thrilled at the opportunity, she rushed to share the news with Kelvin, hoping for his support. But as she entered the garage, she sensed a shift in the atmosphere. Kelvin was preoccupied, his focus distant and his smile forced. When she excitedly announced the news, his reaction was lukewarm, surprising her. Confused, she confronted him about his attitude, which led to an intense argument. They exchanged hurtful words, revealing insecurities they had kept hidden. Christy felt abandoned by Kelvin's apparent jealousy, while Kelvin feared losing her to the success that seemed to be pulling her away. The confrontation was raw and emotional, forcing them to face the truths they had been avoiding. When Christy stormed out, both felt the weight of their words linger in the air, uncertain if they could repair the rift that had formed between them. Days passed in a painful silence, both Kelvin and Christy grappling with their emotions. The absence of each other's presence was like a gaping hole in their lives. Kelvin focused on his work, but every rev of the engine reminded him of Christy and the bond they had forged. Meanwhile, Christy poured her heart into her art, creating a mural that spoke to her feelings of loss and frustration. As she painted, she realized how much she missed Kelvin, and the vibrant colors reflected her emotional turmoil. One night, she stepped back to admire her work, the mural a vivid representation of their conflict and her longing for connection. Kelvin, feeling the pull to make amends, visited the mural, and the sight of it struck him hard. In that moment, he understood the depth of his feelings and knew he had to confront Christy again, this time with honesty and a desire to heal their rift. Finally, Kelvin gathered his courage and sought Christy out, determined to express his true feelings. He found her at the mural, her eyes filled with emotion as she painted. The sight of her stirred something deep within him, compelling him to speak. Approaching her, he felt a mix of nerves and excitement. "Christy," he started, "I've been doing a lot of thinking." He shared his realization that their bond transcended friendship, that he couldn't imagine his life without her by his side. As he spoke, Christy's expression shifted from surprise to relief. She had been hoping for this moment, longing for the truth to be spoken aloud. They stood together, the weight of their past conflicts dissipating as they acknowledged their mutual feelings. In that moment, the air between them transformed, filled with the promise of new beginnings and a deeper connection that would shape their future. As their relationship blossomed, Kelvin and Christy became an inseparable team, blending their passions for mechanics and art. Together, they transformed the garage into a creative space where artists could collaborate and explore their talents. The community began to notice the impact of their partnership, and people started flocking to see the vibrant art that adorned the walls of the garage. As Christy worked on her pieces, Kelvin often assisted, sharing his expertise and offering encouragement. They found inspiration in each other, fueling their creative spirits. However, the whispers from others didn't entirely fade. Some still questioned the depth of their connection, but they paid little attention to the rumors. Instead, they focused on what they were building together, a partnership rooted in love, creativity, and a shared vision. Their lives intertwined, each bringing out the best in the other as they created something beautiful in both art and life. One night, as Christy prepared for her gallery opening, excitement filled the air. She had poured her heart into every piece, and the anticipation of sharing it with the world was palpable. Kelvin was by her side, offering support and pride in her accomplishments. But just as they were about to celebrate, disaster struck. A rival artist, envious of Christie's success, vandalized her mural, turning their joyful night into chaos. The crowd erupted in outrage, and Christy felt her heart shatter as she witnessed the destruction of her hard work. In the midst of the turmoil, Kelvin's protective instincts kicked in. He pulled Christy away from the chaos, encouraging her to channel her anger into something powerful. Together, they decided to confront the situation head-on, determined to reclaim the narrative. With renewed purpose, they began creating a new mural, one that would not only replace the destroyed piece but also symbolize resilience and defiance against negativity. Under the night sky, with the city as their backdrop, Kelvin and Christy worked side by side on the new mural, pouring their emotions into every stroke of the brush. The vibrant colors filled the wall, transforming their despair into a stunning piece of art that spoke to strength and creativity. As they painted, they felt a sense of catharsis wash over them. The community began to gather, drawn by the energy of the moment, and what started as an act of vandalism turned into a celebration of creativity and resilience. People joined in, adding their own touches to the mural, transforming it into a collaborative piece that embodied the spirit of the city. In that shared experience, Kelvin and Christy recognized the power of art to unite and inspire. As they stepped back to admire their work, the connection between them deepened, fortified by the understanding that together they could face any challenge that came their way. Months later, the garage had evolved into a vibrant hub for artists and mechanics alike, a testament to Kelvin and Christy's dedication to their passions. The once quiet space buzzed with creativity and collaboration, where people from all walks of life came to share their skills. Kelvin and Christy thrived in this environment, their relationship blossoming alongside their work. They found joy in the everyday moments, laughing over spilled paint, sharing late-night conversations, and supporting each other through challenges. As they stood together, surrounded by the energy of their community, they realized that their bond had transformed into something beautiful and lasting. No longer just friends, they were partners in every sense of the word. Their love, forged in creativity and mutual respect, became a source of inspiration not only for themselves but for everyone around them, proving that the most unconventional relationships can create the most extraordinary stories.